I slept really well for this. I got a good night's sleep. My girlfriend wanted to have Prosecco last night. I said no.
Oh, you had your beauty sleep.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
She's an enabler. I wanted to be as sharp as I could possibly be for this. Because I'm here with, can I say your last name? Here with Anusha Schindler.
You can.
Am I allowed to have that?
Of course.
I didn't know how much of your identity you were okay with being out there in the open.
That's perfectly
A
fine.
direct descendant of Oskar Schindler, the man who saved 1,200 people in World War II. That's
not his name.
It is. Yeah,
Really?
it's Oscar with a K. I looked it up just so I can make that joke.
So,
actually.
Okay.
Who did you think it was?
Now we're talking about different people.
It's not Liam Neeson. You were talking about the other guy.
So Nicholas Winton.
Sir Nicholas Winton. That guy's really cool too.
Yes.
He actually has the video footage of him, like surrounded by the people in the auditorium.
Yeah, absolutely.
where it
But he rescued children.
Yes, that video makes me cry when I see that. He cries in that video.
A lot of things make you cry, Sean.
That's true, I guess. Thought we could skirt by that one, but nothing gets past you. Anusha Schindler is I'm going to say only both of your names now.
That's so weird.
She's my boss's boss. You were actually
God.
you were the person who hired me. So I felt closer to you then, but now you're my boss's boss, which is the only other way I refer to you now. You're 2 tiers up from where you once were.
It's a very weird way to refer to me.
You've really gained a lot of power since you've started here.
You're obsessed with power.
I know. Don't reveal all my secrets on your episode of the podcast. To me, you're like have you seen The Wizard of Oz? You watched that movie? Yeah, you're like the wizard from The Wizard of Oz to me. You're like behind the curtain, the person. You don't have a lot of public appearances, but you have enormous influence underneath the surface of our brand department.
I will take that as a compliment.
Nobody knows about it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, don't do like a side-by-side of yourself with that guy, but just compare like both of your abilities and your powers.
Influence.
It is power again. Yeah, who would you say you are? That was my introduction for you. Would you like to introduce yourself or do you just want to stick with mine? I like mine a lot.
I can stick with yours, but mine would be more humble.
The public doesn't need to know more than what I've told them.
I consider myself a caretaker of the brand.
A caretaker.
A caretaker of the brand.
You're doing a lot of the high-level decisions and everything. What do you do now? I know like some things, which I don't want to spoil what we're going to talk about in this podcast, but we'll get there and I'll let it unfold naturally. But I know like when we first started, you were giving me direct agendas.
Yes.
But now you're like, you have your hands in all kinds of pots and I don't know what they all are.
Yeah. So I started at Trezor as the senior content manager. I was leading the content team. So content marketing, that was very much this stuff that we're doing now, right? So video, design, content writing, so blog, newsletter, etc. And with you coming in, brand ambassador and social media, that was the main focus of the content division. Then in about 3 months, I transitioned to the head of brand role, which is a larger bucket.
Yeah, rapid rise to stardom. It's like 90 days and you were there. How do you do it?
I refuse to answer that question.
That's fine. I've been in the same position for a year, so I'm at least 4 times slower than you at my advancement.
It was a chance.
How'd you end up here at Trezor in the first place? How'd you hear about it?
So I've been in digital marketing, content marketing for most of my career and operations. So when I ended up at my previous job, I was looking for a position that continued in content marketing, but in a new, more exciting industry. So that's what I was looking for, and I applied to a lot of different places, Trezor being one of them. And when Trezor called back, I said, well, why not? This is an absolutely new industry for me.
Yeah, I've loved it here. Did you... what captured your interest in crypto? Or how do you feel about it now that you've been doing it for a while? Have you learned anything since you started here? Or are you just
learned too
a powerhouse
much
in media?
Yeah, so when I started, I was an absolute newbie. And over time, I've learned a lot about the industry, about just the vibe of the industry, but also how technically it all works, or mathematically, however you want to call it. People in the company are really friendly, and you see that they really want to share their passion for the industry with newcomers. They never make you feel like shit for not knowing something. So that helped a lot in just learning, growing, and a year in, it has been a year and a month or so. I see where that energy comes from, and I feel a lot part of the industry myself at this point.
Yeah, you've done an excellent job so far. I mean, I can't really say that to anyone who's higher than me on this podcast without sounding like I'm sucking up to them, but I do actually believe it. Like some of the questions I was asking like Make when we had him on, he's our first episode. I was like, it just sounds like I'm just groveling at this guy's feet, even though they were legitimate questions and things I wanted to know. But yeah, your role here has been really great so far. You are like definitely one of my favorite people. And if you ever leave, I'm gone. Let that be on record. I'm out if Anusha's ever out. I'm going to leave this place. I'll never come back. So you have to stay here. Well, I guess it's their decision, but I'm going to make it hurt as much as possible if you leave the company as well. I mean, what does brand even do? Because to a lot of people, like we obviously know, but when I first came into the company, it's like it didn't have as strong of an image or a structure, I guess, in my head or my brain as it does now.
Yeah.
For anyone who is like, I followed this company 6 years ago. That's when I first heard about Trezor, and it did look, ironically, I really liked the look of the brand, and then I didn't realize it wasn't as official as it is today. So what role would you say that it actually plays for not just our company, but maybe for companies in general?
Yeah, so brand is, Trezor has a different structure in marketing. So we have marketing split into two divisions just to make it a lot more efficient. So there's brand and growth. And I'll talk about brand because that's my domain.
Right. So we're brand, but there's also growth all under marketing.
Yes, and it's one bucket under marketing. So a lot of other places usually just have marketing. So brand isn't like a natural division in certain places. This is why I think it's important to explain that this falls within marketing. And what we do is really make sure we have a strong, recognizable presence in the industry, making sure our brand, people, and products are well represented and top of mind.
Yeah, it's a really easy thing, I think, to underrepresent or to not realize like the actual need for these things. You kind of, I know when you get like, for example, when I'm like scrolling through, I don't know, Facebook or I'm on the internet somewhere and I see some like advertisement from someone, it's like it took entire teams to make this thing happen. You kind of take it for granted and think, oh, that's just like a thing that companies do. Yeah. But it takes a lot of work. Like with this, I mean, just this year we've done the podcast. Yeah. We started the TikTok channel. We have new YouTube videos coming out, like long form content, and then more on Instagram. Yep. Like it's multiple people's, a whole team's like full-time job for everything.
Yeah, it's just really how we represent ourselves. And we, at least at Trezor, what is really nice is that the company is really rebellious and innovative. And we try to bring that authentic presence out there to the community to see. I don't think we don't even have to fake it because it's so innately a part of the company.
Mm-hmm. And what other parts of it feels weird asking some of these questions because I know a lot of the answers. Yeah. That's the difference between you and everyone else I've talked to. I actually know a lot of the answers to the things that I'm talking about.
You are the brand, Sean.
Yeah. But there's a lot of things that people don't see. Like my face is everywhere. Yes. I've made the joke before, but my identity is very stealable at this point. But a lot of people get the luxury of privacy.
It's a good thing that you gave everyone an idea.
Yeah. I've considered what that could possibly do. Hopefully that never, I'm going to warn all my friends and family. But what other parts, we talked about brand, so there's marketing, growth in brand beneath that, but what else is there in brand? Other positions or roles that people are filling that you might not think about, kind of like me doing video, which is obvious, but what other things?
Mm-hmm. So we have brand split into 4 core categories. That includes public relations, so really taking care of the reputation of the brand, handling any potential crisis.
Which never happens. No
of course,
crises
never,
ever.
never. I don't know what you're talking about. And yeah, also it is very focused on the public presence of the brand, right? PR. Then we have community building. So this is the team that usually responds to all the questions or any comments from the community across our channels, be it social media, Reddit. So there's community building. Then we have content marketing. That's what all of you guys do. So be it the podcast, be it TikTok, be it the blog, newsletter. We also create content for other departments, right? So we are enablers in terms of content for growth. So the performance marketing ads, all of that is actually developed within the brand team. So we make sure there is a consistent tone of voice and visual style across all our touch points, which brings me to the last one, which is product marketing, which is a major part of the brand team. And that really focuses on product messaging, how the product is represented from packaging to the website to every other touch point. Yeah, that's practically the 4 large divisions.
Sometimes I wonder if we need to come up with like cooler names for things, because you don't realize how much like fun stuff there actually is tied to all of this. Like my job's been awesome. I've loved doing videos. We have people doing graphic design. Like when you go to our website, you see things, or like our Instagram
animations
posts.
And landing pages, all
it's
of
like
that.
super cool stuff. That's a lot of, or like even just the way, the design of websites, like UX, UI, that type of thing.
Yeah, the names are very corporate formal, but that's just, I think, the industry standard of allowing people to understand what it entails. But it's a lot of fun, the work that we do, though there's a lot of work that goes behind 8-second video.
Yes.
That comes out, which you guys know very well.
That's super fun. Well, our biggest project recently would be the new brand commercial, which at the time of this recording isn't out yet, but no one's going to know that by the time it comes out. What all did that entail? Because I think it's the biggest thing we've done so far, or at least since you and I have been together. There was the commercial.
Well, we had the product launch, Trezor Say 5.
Yeah, that was a big boy too. Before
that was
the
a
TS5.
big boy.
Yeah, we had like an actual studio. And this commercial had that as well. One of the highest end cameras I've ever seen in my life. And then we have like influencers coming in, different people.
Yep.
What all, like, can you take us, I'm mostly curious about like that process from the beginning, because that was your idea, correct?
Yes.
You were you were the mega mind behind that, or at least the core central person who wanted to make this happen.
I did, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Myself and Danny, I would say. But yeah.
And we've got, you don't think about it when you see the commercial, but the amount of energy that takes in planning, preparation, the actual execution, the post-production, everything else. You can look it up now if you're watching this. It's what do you call it?
The Trezor brand video.
The Trezor brand video. So establishing like really
who we are, why we're here.
And how did that start? How did you think to have that? Why did you want to do it in the first place? And what did it take to put all of that together?
So I'll start with why did we want to do it. When we launched Trezor Say 5, we knew we have a new product coming up next year, which Mate has already teased in his podcast. So I think I can
we can tease
at least
people
mention
a little
it,
bit.
wink, wink. And between those two, we also kind of predicted the onset of a bull run, and we said this is a right moment in time to just reinforce who we are, why we are here. So get back to the roots of our mission, our commitment to the industry and to its people. And that was practically the birth of this video, or why we wanted to do it. So it serves both as a reminder internally to what we stand for, why is it that we are doing what we do, and externally to the community, just a reassurance that it is much more than the product for us. It has always been, even for our founders, Slush and Stick, it has always been so much more than the product, than the commercial aspect of the product. It has been on how they advance the industry, the contribution to the industry, how they give people power to take control of their lives, their finances, their futures. So that was the core of why we wanted to do it, and it is also the core of the video. So what we did was we put together a list of or ideas on what we want the video to communicate, and this was quite easy because we also asked people within the company what Trezor means to them, what is it that the brand embodies, and also looking at our product, looking at our history, the 10 years, 10 plus or almost 11 years in the industry, everything that we have brought to the space. And we wanted the video to speak that story and to narrate that in a powerful way. So then we took these ideas and we briefed our creative agency that then took it forward, came up with 3 creative proposals on how we could communicate this.
Like capture that idea.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And then we had the one you see now is the winning idea, which is a very straightforward narrative, no distractions. There's not so much action there. It's not dynamic. It's really focused on putting that message across and that getting that emotion, that right emotion in the video out of all the people that were a part of it, including you.
Yeah.
And myself.
Yeah, I've got there's a flash of my face in there somewhere, I think, when we saw the preview the other day. Or about like a line or two, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're
a shining personality.
Yeah, I don't need more screen time. I probably need less. We've overdone it with my image on everything. But that is something that I love about the attitude of this company and the way that people approach cryptocurrency in general, in Bitcoin, and like you hear that from the founders. It's like this business is here to serve the larger idea of cryptocurrency. And it's like a joke. It's a meme on the internet of like, I'm in it for the technology, but people unironically are. They actually want to create progress and establish this technology in the world somehow. Stick used an analogy that I thought was really interesting because he was asked the question, how do you feel about the fact that like you created the hardware wallet? I mean, got it all started with this company, the very first one, but now there's like 100 of them. There's so many different competitors, and his comparison, he said like different cars, like same highway, like yeah, there's other people out there, but we're all like moving towards the same, and that's like stuff he said off record. That wasn't like to create an image or anything. That's like he was just talking to another coworker of ours. Yeah. And I love that is genuinely like their mentality of everything. It just like, it makes things feel good whenever you're creating things like this commercial, knowing that it's aimed at this idea. And it's not just like, we're a business trying to take advantage of the cryptocurrency industry. They're like actually trying to make something happen with it.
Which is so unique, right? I mean, there aren't many companies in the world that have lasted 10 plus years and can boast such a history. Not even boast, it's just a fact that they have contributed so much to the industry and
especially in crypto,
genuinely done it.
How long do companies last on average? When I was growing up, I would always see companies that are like, we've been around for 110 years. And as a kid, I just thought all companies are forever.
I think in FMCG, they last really long. Like
what is that?
Fast moving consumer goods.
That's an acronym that people actually, FMCG?
FMCG, yes.
Am I exposing my ignorance right now of the industry we're in through this conversation? Fast moving consumer goods. Yes. So anything that's, what does that mean? Quick turnaround?
Yeah.
Things that people are buying all the time?
So things that you buy at supermarkets, for example.
So regular purchases by people?
Day-to-day, be it clothing or, but it's mostly food products, food, drink products, but it can be clothing as well. That's part of that industry. Yeah, it is very lifestyle focused, right? And an industry like crypto, Bitcoin, that's a very volatile industry. I don't think there are many companies in the space that have lasted 10 plus years.
No, I mean, with as young as it is overall. Yeah, definitely not. Yeah. I have heard, I think this is one of those things I just hear from people. So maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But like one of the things that you hear is like 90 to 95% of businesses fail within like 5 years.
Yep.
Like most of them don't last. It's a very high risk choice to make. I guess you have a bias when you just see the ones who have survived, like survivorship bias of like, oh, companies are fine and easy and cool, and they're not. they're not. They're hard to start and they're hard to maintain.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is really cool being a part of something like that. So how long did it take to actually go? What was the timeline of going from inception to completion on this commercial? Because it's like, what is it, like 30
5
seconds?
months. Yeah. No, actually, is
it longer?
It's surprisingly,
Did we get more out of that?
It's an hour and 40.
The commercial
seconds.
is an hour and
no,
40
no, oh God. Sorry, I meant
I didn't
a
realize
minute.
it was just a preview of the larger. It's just Maciej flying around.
No, I meant a minute and 40 seconds, though we haven't much more than an hour worth footage.
A minute and 40 seconds?
Yes, it is.
It blazes
you don't notice
by.
that. Yeah.
I think.
When we did our internal screening at our Christmas event, no one realized how long it actually was because you're so captivated by that narrative that you just don't.
Okay, so if you're a viewer, if you're listening or watching right now, if you're without the bias that we have, go watch that commercial. Try not to be conscious of the fact that we're directly asking you to do it and tell us how long it feels. I feel like it goes by like really quickly.
Does,
it's very engaging.
Yeah,
which I think
it
is
is.
Cool. It's gonna look really bad if like there's like bad public response and then we're on record having this exact conversation.
Well, if there's bad public response, I don't think we go out with this podcast then.
Our commercials are so cool. I love everybody in it and all the choices we made to put it together.
Just look at me, look at you.
Look at us. Me, you, me. How did you decide on like the? People.
I'll answer your previous question first.
Oh right. Yeah, go ahead and do that. I'm hungry for information.
This is so much
unquenchable thirst. Yeah, pick up wherever you left off. What was the last thing you said? We're talking about the timeline. We're going to have to edit this out. We can't just have you laughing for 45 seconds or 1 hour and 40 minutes.
You could just put a disclaimer, laughing break.
Yeah.
It took about 5 months, right? So,
right. Yeah. Okay.
Ideation, we started in late July. That's when we kind of put our heads together, gave it a skeleton, passed it over to our agency, and then they came up with the initial creative concepts, I think, at the end of August. We discussed it internally and then started planning for the different shoot phases. So we had one shoot phase in the mountains in Austria where we shot the closing scene with Maciej. So that
Where was that?
That was in Hinterstoder in Austria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Down to the...
and at the end, we didn't do it at Hinterstoder. We did it at Loser.
Of course.
Written as loser, which Maciej enjoyed very much. So that was really hard to plan out because paragliding obviously needs the right weather and wind conditions. So we kept moving the date every hour.
You're
closer
to
the
the
date.
weather?
So, yes.
So we can shoot
based on the
commercial.
weather and wind conditions in the mountain range, we kept shifting if we go on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday.
Was it like we have one shot at this?
Yeah.
Like Eminem style, like we get it or we don't?
Absolutely. Yeah. And we really wanted to get it. And we got very lucky with the weather. So we spent 2 days there. We got all the footage we wanted.
2 days.
Great wind conditions. Maciej was incredible. A great sport, as always.
A lot of people see stuff like this and it's like, oh, you think of it as like a commercial, but you don't realize the actual endeavor that it is.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you message like our chat and you were like, I'm on a mountain. I think you sent a picture.
Yes.
You're like, here's Maciej on top of the mountain. He's actually doing the thing. Like none of it is faked. We haven't like CGI'd any of this stuff. It's like all real footage of the actual thing.
And we could park at a certain level and then it was about 500 meters from there that we had to climb up with all the equipment. I'm saying we, it was mostly the production team that carried the equipment, but
You were just
Mate
you
and
were on
I,
a pallet
we
being
did
carried
help.
by people?
No, we did help out. Mate, again, it's a great sport. So it was quite intense to just get everyone up there, then shoot in those conditions, terrified about just what could happen, right?
It's worth the risk for the commercial. Get up there, Mate.
Yes.
Jump off the mountain.
Being the person who had the idea of getting Mate jump off the mountain and
So
actually
here's what
seeing
you're going to
it.
do.
Yeah, that was...
You're going to take this paraglider. You're just going to run.
Yeah,
How did
because initially the agency had a different idea for the closing scene, and it was
and you
me
were
who,
like, no,
yeah,
we're not doing that.
We just need to get Mate up
I want to
there.
see him fly.
Yeah.
How receptive was he to the idea?
He was very, very
So he was down.
open.
He
was down to the idea.
had he done this before?
He has paragliding.
Do you have to go
Obviously, he's a
get
professional.
paragliding lessons? I know he climbs the mountain.
He is a professional paraglider.
That's what I don't call it
You
rock
can't
climbing.
just
I call
do
it
it.
climbing the mountain.
You can't just do it without practice,
Yeah,
Sean.
I didn't think so. I was like, did
I
he
would
just,
not make him do that.
Did he just follow his heart? He's so passionate about Trezor.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works. I've never paraglided.
Yeah. He was really open to the idea. It took some convincing, but yeah.
The most extreme sport I've ever done is when skateboarding got big in the 90s in America, I bought a skateboard and I tried to do a kickflip. I missed and then I fell and I hurt my elbow.
Oh.
And then I was like, no more extreme sports for me. No sleds, no skiing. I've never been skiing.
Oh.
I would actually like to do it.
You should try skiing.
Yeah, now that there actually are mountains. I grew up in Texas. There's just flat land everywhere where I lived. So I didn't have the opportunity for anything. Maybe I'll just go ask Mate and he can teach me how to paraglide. But how did we decide on the tone of everything? Like the look of how the commercial was going to be? Like where do you, I know you can have like the vision of here's the idea, but it's like where do you get the actual feeling or that gut intuitive kind of this is what I want it to be sort of thing?
Yeah, what I was really adamant on was to have individual narratives and have the narrative come through. So to really focus on the person and the emotion, their expressions. That was my core idea behind it, to not have any distracting backgrounds, just a solid color background. And then we worked with our art direction team as well because we also are upgrading our visual style, and that's released again with this video. So we have newer, brighter, bolder colors coming in as part of the visual style and a few other elements. And an idea was to use these colors as the solid background. You're again following my hand.
I know.
I use these colors.
You're gonna have to tell the background of that. That makes no sense to anybody who's watching the podcast. You want to do it? You want to pause right here and do it real quick? Look into the camera. Look into your tight shot camera, even though half the people are just listening.
Yes, Sean has this tendency to, when talking, to follow people's hands.
And I didn't know this. I didn't know this
He
until,
doesn't know it.
Until you and Boyko. We have Matthew Boyko, who's on the podcast as well.
Every conversation I have with you, after a point, your eyes just follow
I don't realize that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And it unsettles people. That's what I've learned.
It does.
Apparently my entire life have been unsettling the individuals that I talk to.
Because then I feel you aren't paying attention or you're distracted by something.
Well, part of that is true. I mean, I am distracted a little bit by, you could argue that's the case, but it helps me follow the thing.
Okay.
I just didn't realize that it unravels the other person who's telling the story. Apparently people are just too polite to say anything and they just never have.
This is a great way to start the podcast.
They're like, something about Sean just doesn't sit right with me. What is it? And I'm like, oh, I've been staring at people's hands this whole time.
No, I would always tell you. You know that. I think I was the first one that brought it up with you.
You're how I found out.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I need to go through my friends and be like, do I do this thing?
Does it make you uncomfortable? So there's this thing and then there's the head bobble.
Yeah. You also told me about the head bobble. Apparently, if you go through all the footage, you can find my own head, which I also didn't realize that I do.
Anyway,
keep them coming. No, let me know all the things that I do. So go ahead and continue with your story.
Back to my story. Yeah, so we worked with our art direction team and came up with the idea that we could use the new visual style colors as solid color backgrounds for the people, which made the video a lot more vibrant. And then obviously the director had some ideas on what people could wear just to build contrast and keep it very alive. Yeah.
Well, well, it looks great. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and talk about how much I love it again for 20 minutes like I did the last time.
Let's allow people to decide that. But I really hope the message comes across, and just that genuine narrative around why we are here, and it's all about empowering people, freedom, independence, self-sovereignty. Just taking control of your future.
Well, where do you think it's headed? Where do you think we're going from here now? Are there any secrets that you're keeping or that you have or ideas for the future?
In Danny's words, to the moon.
To the
to the moon.
to the moon. Are those our ambitions? I mean, yeah, we are going through a bull run right now.
Absolutely.
We don't know how far to or what happens when you hit the moon. We don't know when or
we don't know if you're hitting the moon.
Yeah, you never know where it is until you're already like traveling back.
And I hope we just keep continue traveling upwards and not back.
Well, yeah. It's our brand can, because then we're gonna.
Yeah. So where's it going? The focus is obviously in the past year, you already see from the launch of Trezor Safe 3 to Trezor Safe 5, the brand has already evolved. Our visual style has evolved. Our tone has gotten more friendly. We are trying to simplify hard things. Just make hard things simple for everyone. With all the videos that you create, a lot of our content is focused around this, and that. And we want to continue on that path, so continue to evolve as a brand. As I mentioned, with this video, we also launch a next phase of the visual style. With the new product coming up, we'll again push the limits to another level. But it's not just about making hard things simple for the masses or newcomers in the space, but we are also really focusing on people who are serious with crypto, serious with Bitcoin. That has been our history. They have been part of our community, and we continue to put in a lot of effort to make sure we have products, or the way we speak resonates with this group of people as well. Yeah.
And speaking of new products, we have the limited edition that's coming out soon for the.
Oh, that already came out, maybe.
Did we release it already?
Depends on when the podcast goes out.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. But I think
your hint.
No, the idea is to release them together, so it would be released by the time this thing goes out.
Okay.
So yeah,
I did not know the timeline for it.
Yeah, so as part of the brand video, which is a very more awareness who we are kind of narrative, we also wanted to just give back to our community. And so we created this limited edition Trezor Safe 5 that has a custom backplate that follows the narrative of the closing scene of the video. So independence isn't given, it's taken. There will be 2,100 pieces. So it's serialized. So each person gets a truly unique device. And again, a portion of this of the sales, I think $10 from each sale will be donated to Trezor Academy, which is our CSR that's focused on spreading Bitcoin education in the global South, which is also a major part of the brand team.
CSR meaning corporate social responsibility.
Yes.
Right. I didn't know that when I came to this company. Is that another thing that
I
people
love
know?
that you don't know CSR and FMCG.
There's no way everyone knows that acronym.
No, CSR is a very widely used term.
Much
more than
widely
FMCG.
Used?
Yes.
Yeah, what was that? FMCG?
Yes.
That's what it was?
Yes.
Jeez. Okay. Well.
Well, that's okay, Sean.
I guess.
As long as you can talk about Bitcoin and crypto and create fun videos.
I just dance and sing on all of our content.
That's all that we care about.
I don't need to know any of these fancy terminologies. What's your like ultimate dream for brand? Like, what if far in the future, if you can imagine some version of brand or whatever it looks like, however, I don't know how many years you plan on staying here. I'm using the word years. I hope it's years.
I hope it's years too.
We don't have to leave each other. I'll follow you anywhere you go.
Oh dear!
I'll just be creeping
Stalker
behind you in public. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be hiding.
You're just going to stick here. Yeah. So I think really embodying who we are, right, to bring out that truly rebellious, innovative spirit that's it's almost like the DNA of the company, and that's how I want the brand to come across, much bolder as we grow.
I would tell people this is all because of Anusha. It's of a woman whose magnitude you could never fully understand.
Oh dear!
And I would have them erect
Sean,
a statue.
feed into my ego.
And I would put it on 2MP right in the middle of our break area. Where everyone, so that no matter...
You need to explain what 2NP is now.
Oh, right, the second floor. My explanations are quick. Yeah, I'd want people to see it at all times so that they could never fully relax. So they would always know about your ambition and your drive.
We're going to be bolder and rebellious.
I want them to wake up from naps and the first thing they see is your face. In the form of a statue in the middle.
I'm not sure people would appreciate that. I'm not sure I'd appreciate that.
We can't keep going this direction because our sense of humor and our dynamic is like too weird for a podcast. It's just a conversation we would have in normal life.
Yes.
But
people are going to enjoy this. This actually really depicts how we are as a company.
That's true.
It is.
It is honestly like none of this was performing
it's
on my
like
part.
A window into.
This is just how I talk to you at any given time.
It's a window into the world of Trezor.
Yeah. Well, I think that about covers everything I wanted to know from you or already knew, but still asked the question so we could have it on the podcast. So thank you for coming out. Where are you going now? Aren't you leaving? Tell the audience where you'll be in the world.
Wow. Okay. I don't want to discuss too much. So yes, I'm leaving tomorrow. Tomorrow. But soon. by the time this broadcast airs, I'll probably be somewhere at the end of my trip. So I'm leaving for about 3.5-4 months, traveling Southeast Asia. I'll be working from there. That's also something I appreciate very much about Trezor, the flexibility to work from anywhere.
Yeah, you guys can do that. Like everyone at this company except me.
Oh yes, because you're going to be recording videos.
Record things. You guys go have fun. We literally just had someone leave for America. 2 people left for America. Some people are in Southeast Asia. There's people in South America.
Hey, this is what you signed up for.
It's true. You can always
to be
pull that card.
locked up in the basement.
No matter what, that is something you can always fall back on. If I ever complain, you chose this life.
Yes. No, but it is also not easy for me to live, considering I do have all of you guys. It is a big team, and it's a team that usually and it is a team that usually works from the office because it's a creative team, and I actually enjoy being with the team. But yeah, this is a good time to do it before all the big fun stuff coming up next year. So
that's true.
I'll be back for the fun.
No matter what.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how far away you go.
Yeah. My overbearing presence. Is that what you're saying?
the weighted blanket that is Anusha. No, that is a good comparison because those are supposed to make you feel better. You wear a weighted blanket, you're like, oh, this is nice. It's not like cumbersome. You like, have you ever used one?
A weighted blanket?
Yeah. They're super heavy. I don't even know how heavy they are. Someone just gave one to me. It's like a sack of potatoes if you wad it up.
Okay, but I'm a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, that's a less good comparison. See, there's different ways to look at it. It depends on your perspective. But if you spread it out and you don't concentrate it too much, then it's great. That's the perfect way to use it.
Yeah. So the entire team is taking on the weight.
Correct.
Basically, that's what you're saying.
While you're gone.
Spreading it out across all the divisions. Yeah.
And that is where we're going to end the podcast.
That's a great note to end the podcast.
Thanks for giving us some of your time before flying away for 120 days.
Thank you, Sean.
We're going to miss you.
This was great fun.
We'll see you when it's warm. You can come back for the good weather.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bye.
Bye.
That's the end.
Oh, did we do a handshake?
Yeah, we call it the awkward handshake. We always do it at the end. Now, honestly, if we put this part on video,
Speed
now it's going to
shake.
sound like it was, oh, that's what you want to do? we go like this.
I mean,
and
you
we
have
reach
fabulous
around.
shoes.
No, you have to shake my hand now.
There we
Like
go,
that,
Sean.
which we've never done. That's why I thought it was going to be, it was especially awkward because we never do it. But I guess I need to, I thought maybe this
That's
could
so
be.
not Trezor.
I know. I did it on the first one that we ever recorded. And then I was like, I'm going to do that on every one now because now it's a tradition. And so I'm just going to do it for each podcast.
The other day I met a friend or an ex-colleague in the subway. And I wanted to say bye. I thought I'd just give him a high five or something. And then it turned into a very awkward handshake. And
Those
he's
are my
like,
favorite
we
moments.
do this now? Why do we do this now? So
If that ever happens, I extend
it's so
my
weird.
fingers and then, try to let it slide off.
Well, you are
gotta
into
commit.
hands, obviously.
That's true. This is getting more and more suggestive every time we talk about
it's
it.
awkward.
That's not the case, in case this is still on the podcast and we don't cut this part off. That's it. We're finished. Fade it out. Fade it out.